And our next stop definitely has the absolute best view of Boston. So let's tee it up and take a swing for the Tavern at Quarry Hills. The view is a feast for your eyes, and the food is a feast for your mouth at the Tavern at Quarry Hills. Located at the beautiful Granite Links Golf Club in Quincy, the Tavern at Quarry Hills is a casual restaurant where American comfort foods are served up with a side of the Boston skyline. In fact, this might just be the best view of Boston you'll ever see.
There's no better view with 300 feet above sea level, pretty much a panoramic view at every seat. You get to see all of Boston.
Of course, people come for the view, but they stay for the fantastic food created by Chef Joseph Jean.
Pick up 2 haddocks and a steak tips for 24.
Joe started cooking in restaurants at age 14, and today he oversees the Tavern's very busy kitchen, turning out everything from stacked sandwiches and great burgers to fresh seafood and premium steaks, and doing it all at a price customers love.
I mean, you can come in, you can get treated rich, and when you leave, you're not going to feel poor after you get the bill.
When it comes to appetizers, some are classic, like the scallops wrapped in applewood bacon. Some are inventive, like the buffalo Wellington stuffed with spicy chicken and tangy blue cheese. And some are interactive, like the Thai lettuce wraps with all the fixins. But the absolute must-order item is the Tavern at Quarry Hills' famous shrimp cocktail, featuring a dozen jumbo shrimp with a grapefruit cocktail sauce for a shockingly low price of just $11.
The value for it is unbelievable. There's nothing like it around. You get 12 pieces of shrimp for $11, and they're jumbo shrimp. It's been that way since the place has opened. It's never changed. It probably never will change, and a lot of people come here just for that.
Entrees here are big in size, flavor, and value. There's a pound of juicy grilled steak tips marinated in a house-made barbecue sauce alongside a pile of julienne-cut fries, a fresh-cut cracker-crusted haddock with lobster sherry cream, and a tender 8-ounce filet topped with herb compound butter served over a 3-potato hash for only $28. But nothing packs more comfort food flavor into each and every bite than the Tavern's indulgent macaroni and cheese. It's served in a cast iron skillet loaded with elbow macaroni, cheddar, Asiago, and a buttery Ritz cracker crumb topping.
The Asiago gives it that bite, the cheddar gives it the flavor, and together with the saltiness of the Ritz cracker crumb on top. So there's nothing that gets thrown in there that doesn't have a mouthful of flavor.
The traditional version is great, but if you want a serious Mac attack, you can order it carbonara style with chicken, bacon, and peas, or get it Chef Joe's favorite way, seafood Newburgh style, which he makes by searing scallops and shrimp, then deglazing the pan with sherry, adding in bechamel sauce, lobster sherry cream, and a ton of shredded cheese. Then he pours in all the pasta and tosses it all together.
When you're tasting that, you're getting the flavor of lobster, shrimp, scallops, and the best cheeses around.
The Tavern at Quarry Hills features a large and inviting dining room, a gorgeous outdoor deck, and an always friendly bar mixing up cool cocktails and pouring plenty of ice-cold beer that goes great with a crispy grilled pizza. Traditionalists will order the 4 cheese with mozzarella, Asiago, Parmesan, and provolone, while the adventurous will opt for this one with oven-roasted mushrooms, creamy brie, and white truffle oil. But Phantom prefers this epic pizza, known as the end-to-end pepperoni.
We cover it in our own house pizza sauce, and then we put a light coating of our 4-cheese blend, and then we layer it from one end to the other, overlapping, so you can't see any of the cheese on the bottom, you can't see the crust. It's called sandwich pepperoni. It's not regular pepperoni that you get on a regular pizza. It's about the size of a piece of salami, and then that gets topped with more of the 4-cheese blend. It's literally end to end. There's no crust. It's just all pepperoni.
With all the great food here, few folks save room for something sweet, but if you do, the tempting dessert tray is always filled with decadent options like chocolate hazelnut cake and creme brulee. But in the end, nothing is sweeter than having a great meal with the perfect sunset view at the Tavern at Quarry Hills.